So what was hands down the most powerful tool that helped me reverse type 2 diabetes? It's no secret. I share it almost every single day in my live videos on YouTube. And it is the continuous glucose monitor. It's attached to my arm and it reads my blood sugars in intervals of 5 minutes at a time. So I get clear insight into what's happening 24/7. And I think the most important fact is that when I'm sleeping, even if I was using a finger stick, which only gives me a moments in time insight into what's happening with my blood sugar. This is happening all night. So I get to see, as the short video that I published this morning of how I was traveling and I was hungry. It was around 9 o'clock. And I normally don't make a habit of this, but I had a Flying Dutchman from In-N-Out burger joint. And I wouldn't have known what the effects of that burger would have done or eating so late if I didn't have a continuous glucose monitor. So what it did is, you guys see on the short form video that normal elevations of blood sugar should be 99 and below, especially when you're fasted, specifically when you're fasted. I'd like to share with people, besides the power of the continuous glucose monitor, knowing your numbers is very significant and important too in ending insulin resistance. But it showed me that my blood sugars were at points a little 100 and above, just a little bit above 100. So it was nothing too dramatic, but it is dramatic in the sense that if I'm sleeping all night and I've got a full tummy and my blood sugars are above 99, 100, 102, 103, 104, 5, which they were, signals that that's pre-diabetes. So I'm not too concerned about this because I know it was just a moment, that day that I ended up doing this, but it's a clear sign of what you shouldn't do or what I didn't do to continue being a type 2 diabetic, right? And it's a clear sign, a clear power to see what's going on, because otherwise, while you're sleeping, there's no way to tell, right? So you want to get those blood sugars low as possible. I make a habit of eating around 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the latest. I go to bed at around 9 p.m. And that gives me time for my body, which works like a machine, in my opinion, to masquerade all the food, process it, stomach acids come in, whatever sugars are left after that get burned off, especially if I go for a 30-minute walk after dinner every day. And this is what helps me out to maintain that. I wanted to share this today with anybody who's struggling or on the fence whether type 2 diabetes can be reversed. And I'm here to tell you guys that there's no secret weapon. There's no secret at all. It's basically a continuous glucose monitor. Now, as far as like people, the biggest concern I hear from people is cost. So it costs just under $6 a day, about $180 a month. That's if you buy a 90-day supply. And don't worry, guys, I'm not here to sell you on any specific product or anything. I'm just here to sell you on the idea that if you're looking to reverse your type 2 diabetes and get rid of all the muck, all the mud, and spaghetti piles of information that's out there, the spider web of what you shouldn't do, this is going to eliminate all that for you. Like, this is the future of insulin resistance reversing type 2 diabetes, putting type 2 diabetes in remission, whatever you want to call it. Hands down, the most powerful tool that you can have. So this is going to end that frustration, that skepticism where you're like, I don't know what to believe, what to do. How do I know? This is like a tool that you can take for yourself. And be aware, it becomes quite obsessive. Like, you start eating stuff and you wonder what everything's doing to your blood sugar, like me. And I mean, I'm constantly looking at it. And as far as staying on track and staying motivated and not falling off the wagon, like most of us do, you'll know, because when you eat something you shouldn't, you can't help but to look at the continuous glucose monitor and go, I wonder what that did to me. And you see those levels go up, and then it kind of, puts you in, you put yourself in your own place, basically, like you're your own referee, your shot caller. There's no place for you to really hide from yourself, really, because it's telling you what's going on. So it's a very powerful tool for personal development in the reversal of type 2 diabetes and to keep you on track, you know, to motivate you to keep going. Because you're going to see when you have those high spikes, you're going to have, you know, this high of energy, especially if you do like, you know, you go to In-N-Out Burger or any burger joint and eat it with a bun and French fries and a milkshake or a Coke. And you're going to notice, oh my God, that tastes so good. Your endorphins are flying around like a flock of pigeons. And then all of a sudden, like, wham, you crash down. And if you start to pay attention, watch when your blood sugars go down, how you feel. Watch when they go up, how you feel. So this is the end all of end alls, my friends. Like, there's nothing that will compare to this. It doesn't matter what I say, a doctor says, a nutritionist, an influencer on social media, trying to peddle supplements, right? This is what's going to tell you what's going on with your body at all times. So I contribute it as, you know, you're in the dark, right? And you can't see anything. Having a continuous glucose monitor is like putting in night vision goggles on. So hands down, like if you came to me, if somebody asked me, which they have, what's the first thing I should do? I'm like continuous glucose monitor all the way. And what I did when I first started, hopefully this helps you. Let me know in the comments if I am helping you. And if I am, please like, subscribe, follow, and share and comment. That really helps the channel out. But what I did is I started to immediately utilize the power of this thing to figure out what I could eat. And it was rough because there was a lot of things that I liked to eat that I couldn't anymore. Like I made roasted tomato soup from scratch from tomatoes from my farm. And I had a blood sugar spike, I think all the way up to like 180. And I think it was the sugars in the tomatoes from cooking them down, you know, to make them nice and thick. It actually brought the sugars out. So I became aware and educated now that, oh, just because something's a fruit or a vegetable doesn't mean that it won't spike my blood sugar. But if I ate a fresh tomato, I didn't have quite high of a blood sugar spike. So I went through in the first phases, just doing an elimination diet. So I would write down and journal what my blood sugars were, or I just made it simple, I think, where I was like, okay, tomato soup, not a good thing, right? So I started making a list of all the things that didn't spike my blood sugar, and that formulated a recipe list on my menu of what I could eat. And at first it was very difficult, you know, because it's trial and error. You're getting high blood sugars, low blood sugars. It's stressful and very time consuming. But after about 3 months, I had an arsenal of foods that I didn't have to think about anymore. And so I would write these down, and this was like my go-to. And a lot of, I think, men, especially men my age, you know, I'll be 50 next year, men just don't really like to cook or spend much time in the kitchen. And for me, I've actually developed, since I've had type 2 diabetes and reversed it, it's become somewhat of a passion of mine to cook some yummy foods, because I don't live in the old days anymore where I could just go to McDonald's or, you know, get a pizza or a burrito and all those kind of things. I mean, I can go to get Mexican food. I just don't do rice or tortilla. I eat low carb as possible. If I'm going to eat refried beans, I make sure that it's refried bean, you know, beans saturated in some sort of fat. But it's still not a great idea because I notice my blood sugar spike. If I'm going to eat a cheeseburger, I get it wrapped with lettuce. I know now what I could eat in fast food and which I don't make a habit of, and what I could eat at home. So developing this huge list, and as I keep going, it's been over a year and a half, the list grows and grows and grows. And that's why I'm here to, guys, to share that list with you guys. And as I do on my short videos, is show the effects of the glucose monitor, you know, the insight it shows me on the meals. So also, if you are one of my po-folk friends out there, hey, here's to you, and you don't have the money, $180 a month to spend on a glucose monitor, hopefully the videos that I make will help you. I think 99% of you guys will be successful at the foods that I create for you. So I don't know if anybody's interested in me creating a menu for you that's blood sugar tested. It takes a lot of time. So if you guys comment, let me know, and I can get on the works of doing something like that. So, you know, there's many questions you may have. You know that the continuous glucose monitor is the most powerful tool, hopefully by now. But the next thing you're going to, you want to figure out what to eat. That's going to tell you what's going on, right? What to eat, what not to eat. But if you want to try doing things like intermittent fasting, that's when the glucose monitor is going to really come in handy as well, because you got to be careful, especially if you're on medications. And if you are, you should consult your doctor. This is not medical advice, by the way. But you're going to notice that your blood sugars may dip very low. They may go very high. But this is going to help you with intermittent fasting to figure out what you need to do. How long should you do a 12-hour fast, a 14, a 16, and 18, maybe a 24-hour fast, right? You'll know what's going on with your body at all times, and that way you don't dip in the danger zone. And one of the most powerful things you could do with a glucose monitor too is that if you record and share your data that you're finding and supply your doctor with this, if you have a good doctor, it gives them insight into your body as well. So it's not just you, as an individual seeing what's happening, which is very powerful. But if you're working with a specialist like a doctor or a nutritionist or something like that, this gives them huge data to go on, right? Huge, huge data. Like I said, I cannot say this enough. It's power. Imagine bringing a chart and showing 24/7 what happened with your blood sugars, right? The foods you ate and everything, and your doctor's able to look at this, right? And if you're looking to get off medications, this is how you're going to do it, clear and concise, just at an optimal range to figure out what you need to do and also what your doctor needs to do to help you. So very, very powerful. Also, to stay motivated, if you watch some of my short form videos, you'll see what happens when I do exercise. Just a simple 30-minute walk, not a run, but a brisk walk at about 2.5 miles per hour, 3 miles per hour. That may sound fast to you, but it's not. It's basically where you can walk and literally have a conversation the whole entire time like I do. And this gives you insight as to what exercise is going to do. And I think my biggest hope for people is to see what it's been doing to me and to encourage you guys, get out there and move. Get out there and do a walk. Look what it'll do for you. Again, you'll see me saying this to you, but I don't only just say this, I present it. I show proof in the pudding. But when you guys do it for yourself, it's kind of like that Confucius, the knife is sharp. I don't know if you've ever heard this tale before, but Confucius, how would you say, basically a guru of sorts in Japan, I believe, or China. I can't remember which one, but he had students come to him, and one of the students was using a knife, and he said, Confucius looked at him and says, "Hey, the knife is sharp. You should be careful." And the student was like, "Oh yes, I understand. Okay, clearly." And then one day the student cuts himself, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, master! Like this knife is sharp." And he says, "Yes, now you know. You really know once you get cut." So people telling you or even showing you at times is not the greatest influence until you actually try it yourself. So I think once you guys try it yourself and see the foods that you eat are lowering your blood sugars, you're getting better energy, you're losing weight, your doctor has got amazing insight, you're getting off medications, you're sleeping better, right? You're not so anxious and nervous. I think the biggest thing is the stress level of trying to figure out what to do, right? Because it's just, we're all being lied to, or our doctors or specialists, whoever, can't really help us as much because they don't know, they can't see. We don't have a magic Superman radar vision where we can see what's going on in our bodies until today. So very powerful. Guys, if I brought you any value, check out the link in the description. There's all kinds of goodies for you. But like I said, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's get this out to the world. Let's get to the people who need this. Let's get to the people who want to help themselves to make a difference. And this is the power. This is the power you can put in your own hands. $6 a day, most people you spend that more on that than lunch. Cook your lunch at home, right? You're going to be healthier and lose weight because of it. Or stop that Starbucks coffee in the morning, which is probably also over $6 per day. Or just do this for 90 days. I guarantee you will change the course of your life. You don't have to use the one that I use. Use any type that you can. And there's cheap ones out there. There's all kinds of myriad. It's going to be explosive. I think there's probably going to be thousands of options out there because they are going to sell like hotcakes. See, you got the inside right now. A lot of people aren't aware of this. I said This levels out the playing field of confusion and stress. And that's my biggest point, guys, is to help you live a happier, healthier life and to get rid of that insulin resistance, reverse or put type 2 diabetes in remission, and live. I want you to feel like I do, high energy, lose weight, you feel confident in yourself, and not that stress. That stress when I started was immense. I did not know where to start. God, I wish I had somebody to tell me what I'm telling you right now. And so thank you guys. I sincerely hope this helps. If it does, you know what to do. I'll see you guys on the next video.